I'm Lieutenant Williams, a police officer attached to the Juvenile Division. I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride. He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice guy. He asked Jimmy if he played baseball in the park often. Jimmy told him they practiced 3 times a week and played a rival group on Friday afternoon. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house. When Jimmy got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat. Jimmy hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time. Then during lunch, Ralph showed him some pornographic pictures. Jimmy knew he shouldn't be interested, but, well, he was curious. What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick, a sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious, a sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual, a person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex. Jimmy hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time. The decision is always yours, and your whole future may depend on making the right one. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill. So keep with your group, and don't go off alone with strangers unless you have the permission of your parent or teacher.
This was like years ago. I was opening for Eddie Griffin, and he would go really long. He would do like 3 hours. He would literally do on the late shows 3 hours when he's supposed to do an hour. So people were there. It was like, you're delirious. And he's closing his set, and right before the set, it was, what was the exact? He starts quoting scripture. And he just starts saying, like, from the Bible, and he just starts saying, like, he quotes something, and then his interpretation of it, something like zombies are going to come back, or... do you remember what the fucking... what it was?
No, this is your story.
But Eddie Griffin is saying, like... so Eddie Griffin is taking forever, and he starts quoting scripture, and then he says that, like, it was because we allowed gay marriage or something that we were going to start... and he quotes some scripture that says, because of gay marriage, people were going to be zombies. That it was like, the undead shall come back from the dead in the time of sins. And his interpretation, and just some old... this is insane. You know what I mean? Just insane shit. And some old black woman in the crowd starts clapping and going, read your book. like it's fucking... like, that is true. Like, what he said was in the Bible. Like, I don't even think what he was talking about was even remotely in there. And she was just like, read your book. Read your book. It's like Saturday at 2 a.m. It was one of the most hilarious. And I'm sitting there just waiting to fucking close the show.
Yeah, let's talk about funny stuff, dude.
Man.
We gotta be mean.
I watched 5 minutes of The View the other day, and they're talking about...
those cunts.
They're talking about like... Whoopi's like, a new study says that sex... on average, only lasts 7 minutes. And then all of them are like, oh, hell no, you know. And then, 2 of them are hot. I don't know what, they always have, like, one woman on the show. A hot conservative, yeah.
God, if you could choose any last name.
So she's sitting there, and they put her on the end of the table. So she always looks like a pile of, like, the blankets that they give to people that survive a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's just this lumpy mess covered in blankets of clothing with... usually like nice sneakers coming out of the bottom.
Yeah.
And
wearing Yeezys.
Yeah. And she's like, 45 minutes at least. And it's like,
that's how long she fucks?
Yeah, no way, dude. No fucking way. Who's fucking you that long?
Ted Danson.
Yeah, right.
This is so funny. This is what cocaine is. Cocaine is literally just book and movie recommendations and albums. Oh, dude, you've never listened to the Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta get into the Rolling Stones. You know what I was doing last night
Manuel.
that I thought that I think was funny, but I was all alone, so it might not be funny. But I was going like this. I was going, Hamilton the musical, real hip hop.
Yo, this is a message for the bumbaclots out at the NRA. If you're an NRA bumbaclot, I got a kale sandwich for you, pal. A knuckle kale sandwich.
Everyone's seen like YouTube comments. Like it turns into Nazi like within 5 comments. It could be any video.
Well, that's the base level on YouTube. YouTube's somehow worse than the rest of the internet, and I feel like I don't know what it is,
it's
but like
the most used like
there's not
streaming.
Yeah. There's like none of the like social justice, like we shouldn't be mean to people attitude on YouTube. It's one of my favorite comments. I was watching that whichever the last Taylor Swift big single was, "Shake It Off."
Yeah, whatever.
I think I was watching that on YouTube when it came out. Yeah. And one of the top comments was from an account named James Bond, and it was like all N-words should die. You know?
Oh my! What?
Yeah.
Well, that is okay. So this is I remember actually once my dad used to have this saying in Afrikaans when I was a kid, and he said,
"Grass on the field, play ball."
He said, "There was a lion." There was a lion.
Did your parents like sing the?
He was a great warrior.
What if there was a blind guy that just downloaded a bunch of child pornography, and then his defense was like, "I can't see it.
Yeah,
I just like downloading it. It's all numbers to me."
What if he's just listening to it? Does that count?
It's still possession.
Yeah.
But what if it's pictures? He's like, "This has no use to me." I really want to make a video of like a guy with Down syndrome with his family, and they're at a restaurant, and he's like struggling to read the menu out loud, and like they're all like, come on, you can do it, you know?
Yeah.
And then he's like struggling to do it, but then it just cuts to Jim from The Office staring at the camera from across the room.
Rolling his eyes.
giving the kid that look, because that's really all that show is. It's Jim laughing at his retarded coworker. Yeah. And then we're supposed to be like, he's so charming.
No, I know that
is bullying Dwight. Man's trying to earn a living. You fucking cunt.
The guy clearly has fucking. He's clearly autistic.
Yeah.
Right? He's just bullying his autistic coworker. It's like, what? He's putting like his shit in Jello.
Right.
Like,
he's trying to destroy his friend Pam's marriage.
Yeah.
There are so many Australians in New York City because apparently what happened was because they supported George Bush in like the war on terror.
Yeah.
They got like this visa deal where they can like young Australians can like travel here and like get visas pretty easily for like a year or whatever. And so the other day I was on the train. It was like I was going to work. It was like 9:30. There were these 2 Australian girls that looked like shit, and one of them was like, "Yeah, like I took heaps of Molly last night. Heaps of Molly." I was like, what?
I would love to fuck an Australian woman.
Why? Because she's a woman?
When you first moved to Baltimore, I remember you pretended you had a son.
Oh, yeah. No, that was just like a Facebook joke.
Right.
And then a bunch of people took it seriously. I told people I had a son.
Yeah, I remember.
What was the guy's name? Ronaldo Fink.
Ronaldo Fink Mullen.
Yeah.
I feel like that kid sort of became Nicole Mullen's kid.
Yeah, sort of. It's funny to have like a kid that you don't take care of.
And then the best part, when he died, I remember he linked to, what was that fucking song? R.I.P.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P. We just killed the club.
You're like, my son, my baby boy. You fucking wrote this like 2-paragraph thing about your son dying, and then you linked to R.I.P.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
And people were giving you sincere like sorrow, like fucking apologetic messages. What the fuck word am I looking for? It was so funny.
But that was before. That was before I had a big internet presence. So like people didn't know.
Yeah.
Half my Facebook friends were like people who didn't fucking know me.
I remember people at open mics would be like, "God, it's terrible what happened to Nick's son." And I was like, what? You know him in person. You know he doesn't have a fucking son. He's drunk always. He's fucking just drunk driving every night to the apartment where he lives with a fucking
my car.
raped clown. You think he's got a child somewhere?
And then I said he died in a beer fire. There was no investigation.
So I'm in this contest, and Tom Myers is on it too. And my little brothers come to see me, and my little brother Nick just does an incredible black guy impression. Like he has like every register of black guy. Like he does a great James Brown. He does just like a great like and so Tom Myers, I go up by whatever, and OK said I'm 6 months into comedy or whatever.
Right.
Then Tom Myers goes up, and he's just doing like jokes about Vietnam. Like he's doing jokes about like Charlie and the Trees and just like the classic Tom Myers bits. And my little brother starts going like, oh hell no. Just like as a black guy. He just starts going like, no thank you. Just heckling him as a black person for some reason, I guess probably being racist. But just like, and Tom is like a little flustered. And to the point where I have to tell him, please, Nick, you got to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going to come see, and it's going to be like, I brought the guy heckling, Anyway, so we do this fucking, so we do the contest is over. Tom bombs because my brother is heckling him as a black person. And he's got his jokes or whatever. So then I go up to him just like kind of making small talk. And I'm like, oh, Tom, this was, I was like, oh, yeah, there's kind of, whatever the crowd stuff. And he's like, dude, these fucking urban crowds, smart material
He was
goes...
talking about your brother.
These urban
Incredible.
crowds, smart material goes right over their heads.
Oh.
It was just my brother doing a black guy voice heckling him. It wasn't that it wasn't like black people didn't get his fucking Vietnam jokes. It's like warmed over Bill Hicks shit.
Have you boys ever heard of beating off?
But he's not a pedophile. He just wants to fucking educate them.
Just give me a second here. You put your cell phone down. You don't need to call your parents. I'm telling you. This is going to change your life. You have to listen to me. Shelly, is your name Shelly? Are you Shelly? Which one of you is Shelly? Shelly, you pull down your pants, okay? You get some Vaseline. So maybe some of your mommy's lotion from the bathroom. You wrap it around your dick, and you just start tugging on that thing like you're trying to rip it off.
Yo, I'll be on there. I'll be trying to get on that train, yo, and then it ain't ever there when I need it.
Have you ever noticed
That's a good
this?
bit too.
Yeah. You like that?
There was like this guy that was like a wig that I remember when I was a teenager.
A wig.
Yeah. We're like sitting around like a table, and some like these two girls were talking about like IQs or whatever, and one of them was like, "Well, my IQ is 120, so that's like really smart," and the other one's like, "Oh, really? Because mine's 121." And they're like, they're like doing that back and forth. And this kid who's, white bandana, white fitted cap, like big white T-shirt. He's sitting there at the chair, like as completely slouched as possible with his like pants basically pulled down to his ankles. Like he's fucking, just as relaxed as possible. And they're talking about IQs. And he goes, man, I ain't even going to bring my IQ up because y'all wouldn't even believe me if I told you. And I was like, what's your IQ? And he's like, 472.
What a dipshit.
Dead serious.
So funny. I totally forgot about those kids that would brag about adult stuff.
Yeah.
There was this white girl who was a wigger. And she reached out to me on Facebook.
Nice.
Because she saw
Recently?
me. Yeah, she saw me on Showtime. And so she was like, oh my God, you doing things. And I was like, you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
You're still doing this? You're in your 30s. She was like hot. I'll show you a picture of her. She was hot, but she would just fuck with like thugs. Hardcore thugs.
Right.
And she, we were in math class, and it's so funny you bring that up. People just straight lying. Cause she go, yeah, my dad owns Bally's. And I was like, what?
Did the company go out of business?
Yeah. Rude boy. You called your dad a rude boy. Yeah, be real mean boy.
Fun.
Weren't you saying that the Outback That is hilarious. That Outback is just some fucking guys.
Oh yeah, Outback Steakhouse was founded in like 1987 in the Tampa by like 3 guys on coke.
Yeah, who never went to Australia.
I've never been there. Yeah.
Hey, I think this guy's wearing a fucking wire.
Hey, is he wearing a wire?
Yeah, he's wearing a fucking wire. He's got a big wire there.
He's got a big meaty wire.
He's got a wire right there. Take his fucking pants off. Let me see that wire.
Oh, that's a wire.
There it is.
Oh,
that's a wire, baby.
Is it getting bigger?
It is. That's how you know it's recording. Quick, Frankie, suck all the electricity out of that wire. You gotta get to all the recordings.
Oh, it tastes good, Mikey.
And that is a bit called Italian guys who think some guy's dick is a wire.
Yeah, it's like a mountainous region of Spain that was isolated from the rest of Europe for a long time, so they have a very unique language.
Interesting. What do the biddies look like?
They got dub D's on the regs, and they get them at like 12.
It's so funny how often.
Yo, how about that video? Did you guys see I posted it? I found a video of a baby laughing slowed down, and it sounds
like Brandon.
It sounds exactly like Brandon.
Really?
I faved it.
Yo, this fucking piece of shit cat, can you stop it?
Yeah. That's Brandon.
That does sound exactly like him.
Do you remember when we were doing the Drake freestyle?
Yeah.
If it ain't penetration, ain't illegal.
Oh yeah. That's a classic.
That was a good early move to New York hang.
Yeah.
Doing the Drake pedophile.
Penetration ain't illegal, dog.
Ain't no penetration, ain't illegal, dog. Tell that baby I'm gonna slide that diaper off.
Push the diaper to the side.
I just love that, like,
dude. I remember the one time there was this kid we all didn't fuck with.
Yeah.
There was like a basketball tournament. You like sleep away, and this kid just sucked. And then I remember somebody being like, "Yeah, we teabagged fucking Minaj, this piece of shit." And I saw the video, and it's like 3 guys taking turns putting their balls and dicks in his mouth for like 15 minutes, dude. This guy was passed out.
It was sexual assault. Yeah.
It was straight up.
Yeah.
At camp. Yeah. Did you guys ever do the ultimate push-up?
No.
Or I'm sorry, ultimate sit-up?
I've seen that.
Where it's like,
oh no,
someone's doing a sit-up, right? And you do this thing where it's like you push. You're like, dude, let me show you the ultimate sit-up, and you just do it. And they cover your eyes with their hand. They push up as hard as they can, and you're like, oh, and you really try and like push against the force and shoot up, right? Mm-hmm. And then so they see you do this, and then you're like, all right, man, your turn. So you cover their eyes and make them, push up as hard as they can. And then it's just someone with their ass is standing over top of them. So they just like full force put their nose in your ass essentially when they come up on the fucking sit up. Did you do any bullying, Adam, or did you get bullied?
I feel bad about it in retrospect.
What did you do?
Like my friend Tommy growing up, I bullied him pretty hard.
What'd you do to him?
Well, he was like he went to camp with us because his mom was Jewish, but
he was not a Jew.
His dad was Italian, so his name's Tommy Giorgione.
Hell yes.
His brother's name was Joey Giorgione.
Hell yeah.
And he's a mind freak now. He's a street magician in Vegas. He does like magic.
So he deserved to be bullied.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
we
bullied him into being a street magician.
Into street magic.
But like he would literally do anything for money. So he had this massive chest concavity. So like we stole like milk and cereal from the dining hall at camp.
Oh no!
And we had him like
eat
cereal out of his chest,
his own chest,
out of his own chest, and like it was like he'd just literally do anything for money. And like
did you make him suck your dicks?
We were like, I went on like a Israel.
Did you guys all come in the chest cabinet?
He would literally do anything. Like at camp, we had like a climbing wall, and the front climbing wall literally went back. Like what's it called? Like
reverse cowgirl.
Reverse cowgirl. No, like the incline was like beyond 90 degrees. It was like a overhang or
60, 90 degrees.
And we're like, yeah, Tommy, climb it without a harness for $2. He like jumped over the fence. We're like, you could die. It's like halfway up.
Oh, you mean it was like dangling over the fucking the
yeah,
abyss.
it was like your feet would be in front of your arms.
Right.
But we were our parents sent us on this Israel summer trip, Shouts out. Okay, point of the story is he didn't like taking his shirt off because of the chest concavity. So we went to the Dead Sea, which is like a natural wonder.
Yeah,
you can float on the water, but
well,
he didn't
weigh 120 pounds.
Yeah. Anyone
you
can.
little twink.
He didn't want to go, so he like went to the gift shop and like we get on the bus and he just bought like I think like 30 porn magazines. He like opens up his backpack and he's just pulling porn out. And there's just like a like a spread with like a 8 or like 12-inch dick like going into a girl's face.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, there are people around. You put this away. And we get to like the hostel.
We're in the holy city.
We get to Jerusalem. And he's like, we're like in our room, and he's like, Adam, I haven't beat off in 11 days since we got to this fucking country. I have 40 porn magazines. I need the room. I need the room. So like I left, and
more like jizz reel. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
remember, this is a comedy podcast.
That was good.
So you got to do puns. That's real big right now.
So I knew he was jerking off in the room, and then I like saw my friends. And I was like, I realized that the window to our room was open. The curtains were closed.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then like my friends were like right outside our room. And I realized it was like leading into my room. So I told my friend, I was like, oh God. I told my friend, I was like, Tommy's beating off in there. So my friend, I'm not going to censor this because we're immature kids, but my friend literally like walks up to the curtains and he opens them up and he's like, got any crack, nigga? And like Tommy,
Jesus Christ.
He just shouts it at Tommy. Tommy is completely flat on his back, just wearing socks, like holding his dick in one hand and the magazine in the other hand. And he just looks up at my friend Isaac, who says it, and literally his body like levitated like off the mattress and like did a 180, and he just landed like erection into the mattress so fucking hard. And there was just this shriek of pain because he like literally broke in his boner. Like birds flapped away. It was like
oh my
he was
God.
screaming because his penis hurt so much.
Did he have to go to
and
the
then he
doctor?
saw me standing there. Everyone's laughing, he saw me standing there, and he just like went nuts. And he started like throwing all my stuff out of our room.
Was he naked? Just still
yeah, he was
naked
completely
and hard?
naked. He put my sweatpants on and he was like doing lunges, like rubbing his balls on my sweatpants and stuff. And then
did he ever come?
like a week later,
Yeah, did he come?
It'd be so funny if he
never
shrieked and came at the same time.
he never came. And then like a week later, I was sleeping and I felt like in my sleep someone straddled me, and I opened my eyes and Tommy was like above me holding a pillow, and he's just like looking down at me. He's like, Adam fucking Friedland, you betrayed my trust.
Oh
You
man.
humiliated me in public.
Holy shit.
And if you ever humiliate me again, I'll fucking kill you.
That's badass, dude.
I was hoping he was about to beat off on your face, dude.
Don't fuck with magicians, dude.
Yeah.
And now he's a mind freak street magician in Las Vegas.
Jesus, can you imagine?
Dude, this kid was like, so it was baseball, and everyone at baseball that played baseball was like football athletes on, like a different, half of them played, I think that was it, because it was spring, right? So it was either lacrosse. So it was like football guys, and just this one like white kid who loved baseball, who was just like a total spaz. He played JV for 3 years, and they were like, finally his senior year, they let him ride the bench on varsity. And these motherfuckers, dude, it took them a whole season. They like set up, they were like, so like the first part of the season, they would be like, he would walk in, and like one guy would be on his knees, and they would get up real quick and be like, oh, sorry, Jonathan, didn't want you to see it. And he's like, whoa, what's going on? He's like, no, don't worry about it. So they like set the groundwork. They made him like walk in on them fake sucking each other off a bunch.
Yeah,
And
black
then
guys are so much better at everything. It's like fuck, literally at everything.
and they were like,
They're like, yo, dude, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a play. It's gonna have 9 acts and last an entire year.
dude, it literally lasted the whole season.
That's some like fucking. That is Shakespearean.
It was
Cicero.
It was
Yeah.
incredible,
Yeah.
dude. And so, and I remember, and I played football, so they would like telling me, I was like, this is crazy. They would like keep me posted on the shit. And so then over the course of the season, like one of them pulled him aside and was like, all right, man, we trust you, dude. Here's what happens. If you're really good friends with someone, it ain't gay if you suck his dick. That's teammate shit. He's like, oh, okay. He's just buying everything he's saying. And it's like, yeah, maybe one day like we'll let you in. He's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And then like they just towards the end of the season, they're like, hey man, come in here, and they take him to like the fucking supply closet or whatever, and it's like, dude, it's a big day. He was like, we trust you, man. You're our teammate. He walks in. There's like fucking 5 dudes in there, and they're like, they're about to get their dicks out, and this kid's on his knees.
Oh,
he gets
that's
on his
terrible.
knees, and then the coach comes to get a bat. And he's like, what the fuck is going on in here? And to this day, I don't know if they would have made him suck their dicks, dude. That's the weirdest part of it all.
How much do you want to bet that kid is absolutely voting for Donald Trump?
That's the guy.
I got a letter. This is from one of our fans. Hi, Cumtown. My name's Dylan. I'm 5 years old. I'm gay, and I just learned how to jack off. You remember the show Doug? I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast
I don't think
before.
you have.
But, so you know how like in Doug, like Skeeter's green and the Frank is
Rogers.
blue?
Yeah.
Initially, they wanted the show to be like, let's make it multiracial. Let's have like his best friend's Hispanic, and like there's a black kid, and like Nickelodeon or whatever back in '87, whenever that show was being pitched, they were like, just make them purple and stuff. And they're like, I think actually making them a different race might be too much. So R.I.P. to Popcorn 270.
Oh, I miss him so much.
Who's in jail?
Dude, I sent you the DMs. I sent him right before he went to jail.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
You know who discovered him is Will from Chapo Trap House.
Oh, well, shouts out.
Yeah,
that is.
Will,
I've,
the greatest
I've
Instagram-
evangelized popcorn for a while.
Popcorn 270 on Instagram. This little fat white kid is Eric Cartman.
In Kentucky.
You know what he looks like? He looks like Eric Cartman with Glenn Close's hair from Fatal Attraction. And yeah, he's like, all of his videos are like, me and my niggas hanging out smoking weed. It's like him with like some other moron in a white beater.
He is plays very fast and loose with the N-word.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny. And anyhow, he just got arrested and he's doing 10 years.
I'll read the DMs that I sent him. I was like, yo, Popcorn, So he like wrote on one of his
You
Instagrams.
find him. I'll continue telling
Yeah.
the story. So yeah, his account's great. It's like this little fat kid that just smokes weed and like makes shitty rap videos and like posts pictures of his Kmart brand jeans like sagging. But yeah, he got arrested and Adam DM'd him to see.
So I was like, hi, Popcorn, are you really going to jail on Wednesday for 10 years? And he said, yeah, I have to do 2 years out of 10 to get parole, but I'll probably do 4. And I was like, damn, dude, sorry to hear that. What happened? And he said, me and my dude did a home invasion with a handgun and went on a high-speed chase with the police because we was in a stolen car.
I love that he's just telling this fucking stranger on Instagram. What's going on? Like, you could be a cop, you could be anyone.
Yeah. So I said, are you doing okay? Like, and then he didn't respond to that because that's a soft ass question. And then I was like, can you have Insta in jail? And he said, no, you can't. And then that's it.
he's like
Morgan Freeman did gay porn.
Yeah, they did get porn together.
The first time I saw Andy Dufresne, I knew I wanted to fuck him. Andy came into Shawshank with the schoolboy luster, the 8-year-olds I used to penetrate. As mentored by the fat doctor.
The fat doctor,
God,
baby.
that guy sucked a dick, dude.
He's still out there.
Yeah, he used to come to the Wiseacres open mic and just sit on the stool, and then Mike Diesel would be like, everybody watch him. Everybody has to watch. This man's a legend.
Oh my
and then he would
God.
do like popsicle stick level comedy. You know, Blake Midget had some like white trash guy that he knew growing up who's on Facebook named like Louis Gormley or something. Who he showed me one time, and that guy was great. He like collected swords,
Hell
but
yes.
he had one Facebook status one time that was like, best feeling in the world is coming back from vacation. You got more swords than you left.
Because there was one waitress who was so good at being a waitress that I felt like the way strip club, like guys at strip clubs feel about strippers.
Yeah.
Where I was like, she is like into me, dude. This waitress is so like she's just like, but she is clearly not. She's like a fucking gorgeous.
She's
whatever.
doing her job.
And she's so good at it. And I'm like,
She's a fucking professional.
yo, literally, when she dropped the check, she had it down to a sign. She like took her hair down, so she looked even hotter.
Shut up.
I swear to God, it was crazy.
What a scam.
What restaurant?
It was in Tampa. It was some fucking like some kind of steakhouse place.
Shout out to that bitch from the steakhouse in Tampa.
Yo, have you guys? So
Whatever,
thank
bro.
you for calling me gay.
Shut up, dude.
But it's
Well,
not
I
accurate.
just heard the news today. It seems that Adam is fucking gay. With arms wide open.
I'm a faggot.
Adam's a faggot. With ass wide open.
Shit. A sucker man. Oh,
That song's actually about Adam. That Creed song?
With ass wide open.
Yeah.
with ass wide open.
It's Caitlin, bitch.
Here I am, bitch.
Here I am, bitch.
Here we are, the real trans wives of Target bathrooms. That's the reality show, one new bitch. Good morning, Vietnam. I killed myself because I have Parkinson's. Welcome back, everybody. Wow, Robin Williams was in studio for a second. The ghost.
The characters app continues.
The characters will not stop coming today, guys.
Nobody stops coming, baby. This is Cum Town.
Sploosh, sploosh, sploosh.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'd smoke so much weed, my cum got THC in it. I'll smoke my cum.
I'm so stoned, man.
All right. I read an article the other day.
Oh, stop.
I read an article the other day.
When I was in Spanish class in middle school, me and my friends thought we were really clever, so we made up a gang. We're Las Mariposas, the butterflies. We thought that was hilarious, and we kept making jokes like, "Oh, Las Mariposas are gonna get you," and then like my teacher couldn't take it like midway through the semester, and she just like slammed a book down. She's like, "That means the homosexuals." What are you doing? So like we had a 5 a.m. call. They're like, yeah, it's our responsibility to park the trucks, and so like we're supposed to park them in like, lots or whatever. We had a 5 a.m. call. There's this dude that's just like wide awake. We get there to park the trucks, and he's just like screaming at people, like moving trucks, like air traffic controlling, and like I get it, he like screams at me to move the truck, and then I get out, and he's like, "Anyway, man, sorry I yelled at you. My name is Jose. I'm a small business owner. I own my own company. It's called Extreme Parking."
He didn't shows us his business card, and it says Extreme Parking on it.
Jose Extreme Parking.
Yeah, and it took everything I had not to like.
That's
I was like,
incredible.
Excuse me.
Anyway, so he's like bragging to us. We're like, "Yo, so like, are the parking guys in New York like union? Like that's what you ask every job on a film shoot is like, are you union or not? Because that's like, an easy conversation starter." And he's like, "Hell no, dude, never going union. I'm never going union, bro." He's like, "Yeah, man, I raised like 6 kids. I raised like 6 kids.
Nine.
I raised
You
9
exaggerated
kids.
in the wrong direction on that.
Yeah, that's crazy."
Yeah.
He's like, "I raised 9 kids. Last year, Extreme Parking made $85,000." And like split between me and my 5 guys.
Well, we asked him. He's like, "I made $90,000 last year," and I was like, "That's pretty good. Is that before or after tax?" He's like, "Well, it's split between me and my like 8 guys." I'm like, "That's no money."
You made no money. No way I'm going union, man. No way I'm going union, bro. I've raised 9 kids on this.
That's so fucking
on this parking game. The worst joke pitch I ever got from him. I was like, he called like 4 times. I called him back, and he's like, "Comedy is over. Comedy is over." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "His name is Wiener, and he showed his wiener." And I was like, I gotta go. I have to go.
We had remember box tops for education, where if you bring in
from cereal.
Yeah. So our school had like a goal, like if we got to fucking $2,000 whatever, $500, $2,000, whatever the amount was in box tops, they would there was like a prize,
Yeah.
And so the options were there was 3 things that everyone kind of voted on initially as like ballot options, because everything had to tie into into like teaching kids about democracy or whatever.
Right, some bullshit.
So, you know, there's like different, and then there was like a write-in option. So it was like, you know, either the principal kisses a pig or whatever. They get like a fucking pig from a farm, and she had to kiss it. That was the one that ended up winning. The principal ended up kissing a pig. But
stupid bitch.
Yeah. And then there was a couple other ones, but then there was this kid Chris who was like. Me and my friend Anthony, we were like friends with him. We were all on the baseball team together, and we all like sucked. And but like, you know, Chris was at like the sort of the bottom of that pecking order between me, Anthony, and Chris or whatever. And Chris was like kind of like, he was just like a dumbass. He was like aloof and like didn't think about shit. So they put out like the ballots of like what you could vote for to happen if we got like the box tops. And so in a write-in space, and these are anonymous. They just hand one to everyone. They're anonymous, and he wrote his name at the top for some reason. And then in the like other section, he writes down, Mrs. Vasilio should jump off the school and kill herself. Like, Jesus Christ. And then he erases his name and turns it in, but his name's still like clearly visible. Yeah. And then he got like suspended and had to like write an apology to the
That one was probably so sad.
You know, it'd be cool to like accuse girls of not having pussies.
Why do you wear underwear?
Yeah, why do you wear underwear? Yo, I heard Stephanie doesn't even have a pussy.
She's like a Ken doll down there.
Yeah, she's completely smooth.
And
man, prank calling is so much fun.
It was the best.
I used to do it a lot, but we'd never think of anything that good.
Yeah,
like, it would just
it's always like, is this Brian? Wait, shut up. You're fucking gay, dude.
Michael told me when he was in college, there was every dorm, they didn't have internet, but every dorm had a phone, and you could like call random numbers, and it was untraceable. And he called one girl up once, and it was like she like picked up, and he couldn't think of anything. He goes, "I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah, so it's Jurassic Park, but Attenborough is like, we can bring back the dinosaurs, and then we can fuck them. And he just wants to fuck the dinosaurs. Says, can you? Yeah. You do the song.
I used to do his rooms, and just get absolute. You gave me the best advice. Like, whenever I'd work a black room in DC. I just like, they say coming up next to the stage, Adam Friedland, and then just like there'd always be a drunk woman in the stage. I'd just be like, "Ooh, he looked like Harry Potter," right? And then like everyone started laughing and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, and I'd feel like really like intimidated and stuff. And the staff was just like, "Yo, if anyone makes fun of you, just tell them that they have a tight shirt."
Yeah, 100% crushes every time.
Crushes every time. Look how tight this guy's shirt is.
Yeah.
Little ass shirt.
Call someone gay, say they have a little ass shirt.
I went up to our friend Tommy, my friend Tommy, and he's sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, do you got a blow guy?" And I said that to him, and it was like kind of loud where we at, so he like reflects for a half second. He's like, "Nah, but I fucked a tranny once." And I was like, "What?" And he was like,
Did I ever blow a guy?
Yeah, he's like, "You asked me if I ever blew a guy?" And I was like, "No." I said, "Do you have a blow guy?" But why is that your response?
They're you know, that's the thing is like, I usually have fun when I go in there, but it's like
anytime someone asks me about or says I'm on a group text with some friends and they keep talking about Pokemon, I'm like, guys, I'm just focusing on Black Lives Matters right now. So.
I've had to leave like 50 chat sites just because of this bullshit. Because someone's trying to ruin their reputation just because I said something, or if I didn't give 400,000 big cash, or the 400,000 website cash for their avatar, or whatever. Again, referring to the chat sites I was on. And then again, and also death threats I'm constantly hearing.
So everyone's been complaining about Stav's cackling on the show. Numerous complaints. Adam, we already started recording. So
Shut up, Adam.
Please don't speak if you're not speaking into a microphone.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, dude. So Stav's trying out a couple new laughs. That's number one. If you like number one, please text FAGGOT to FAGGOT6. That's the classic one right there. That's number two. That's not one of the voting options.
You can't vote for
that one. You can't vote for that one.
No, the other one is
That's Japanese schoolgirl. If you like that one, text FAGGOT to 202-288-3031.
This next one, ha ha.
That's black guy. That's middle-aged black guy. It's a black guy. That's black guy old enough to still have a white guy name. Laugh. You know what I always loved about Silence of the Lambs? Like, so they show you like Hannibal Lecter's cell, and he's supposed to be like the most evil genius in the world.
very
and
scary.
So he's like in there, and he's got all these books, and he's listening to classical music and stuff. And he's supposed to be scary because he's such like an intellectual, and he eats people, and you know she has to consult with him. And then she's leaving, and she's like, "Goodbye, Dr. Lecter." And then the guy who's literally the next cell over just throws cum in her face. Yeah, and it's just some cum throwing guy, and it's like a regular cell. And it's like, what wing of the prison is that? Who do you keep there?
It wasn't poo. It was.
I always thought it'd be funny to shoot like a commercial for like, you know, prescription medication. It opens with like an old guy throwing a ball at somebody in a field, and then he's like, you know, and then I was having problems, blah blah blah, and then it cuts to like inside a kitchen, and then he still has another football, and he's like, and he just destroys, like hits the china cabinet or something, it just shatters all over the floor. A good physical comedy bit. My man, the front of my man jacket looking like the control panel on an elevator. Look at he laughing because he knows.
He laughing because he knows.
My man said, "Which floor you trying to go to?"
Hold that for me. Can you hold that for me?